So I'm sure we don't do enough reviews on speaker cables. So today we are going to be reviewing the Ricable Invictus speaker reference cable. This is the 3-meter version, or RS3. It is priced at 1,500 euros, and it is one of the best speaker cables I've heard in my entire life. And I actually managed to borrow a few from a few shops so that we can do this comparison. Like, as you can see, this is a really heavy speaker cable with a really beautiful design. So let's see what this holds in for us. Now, you know, I'm Audiophile Heaven. Like, basically, I am the reviewer for our website, and I'm a big fan of music. Like, I really love music. Sometimes, to get to the best sound possible, we have to make some sacrifices. In today's case, this cable doesn't sacrifice anything sonically, but it is extremely thick, quite hard to bend, and it is quite pricey at 1,500 euros for the pair of cables. So it's not each cable 1,500 euros. It is for the pair, which puts each of the cables at 750 euros. Now we have gold-plated connectors, which are those banana type. You can also do this with the plug, where you can force it to sit tighter or to sit looser. And we have those little straps that confirm this cable is made in Italy, and I like that. It is one of the heaviest cables I have seen for a pair of speakers. You probably can't see how heavy it is, but you can see me struggle, so I hope that gives you enough comedic effect and some idea of how heavy this cable is. Just look at this. It is so heavy, so thick, and yet I like it. It is a very really good cable. The pattern on it is of a very good quality, and it survived being taken outdoors so that we could take photos and b-rolls of it. I think this is the best way to hold it while doing the review. So this is the speaker cable. It has no impedance, or at least none that is noticeable. You don't have to worry about that. The sonic characteristics are given by the inner construction. There is no active part in it. The two wires, black and red, are not visible outside of the cable, so they are only visible here at the connector side, and that is about it for the cable. It is a speaker cable. You don't do much more with it. You connect it to your speakers and you leave it there. And that is why I think it is a great product, even though it is heavy and hard, because while with cables like the Inferno from Eletech, the Inferno was heavy, thick, and I did complain about it, but that was a headphone cable. If you have a headphone cable that is heavy and that is complicated to use, yeah, you are going to be complaining about that because you have to move it every single time and such. Where for speakers, you just set this up and you leave it there. It is the kind of upgrade that I hear some of guys you are looking for because you don't want to anger your other precious one or your partner, your wife is usually, because they don't like you upgrading stuff all the time, and this is the kind of upgrade they will not notice. Actually, it may even give a bit of a color accent to your setup, which may be to their liking. Now, at 1,500 US dollars, it is pricey for a pair of cables, but there are two cables, so for 750 US dollars for each cable, it is cheaper than the Eletech Inferno was, like cheaper. Eletech Inferno is pricier, even though it is shorter. This one is 3 meters in length for this price, while Eletech Inferno is shorter. It is 2 meters or 1 meter and 8 in length. So why would you want to upgrade your speaker cables? Well, some people are believers in the fact that the cables make a difference, while some people are skeptical about it. Some people even want to contradict the idea and want you to use the cheapest cables available to you. I'm somewhere in between, I think. I do think that cables do make a difference. I have heard it with my own ears, and most people have heard it. Most people know that speaker cables make a difference. Even producing company know, even usually this is something I really have to explain to most people, but there are lines of special cables for musical instruments, and artists don't use the cheapest cable available. The cheapest cable will never be the best option available. Most companies that make cables and cabling for concerts, for recording studios, know that the quality matters, and they have pricier options for higher end recording studios. For better guitars, you get better cables. For better setups, you do get better cables. And that is something that even recording artists do. So contradicting that is like contradicting everyone. I don't want to contradict everyone. I know that speaker cables can make a difference. Headphone cables can make a difference. Guitar cables can make a difference. Every single type of cable can make a difference. How big of a difference? That is something you have to judge with your own ears usually, because the differences are usually not that large, well compared to speaker amplifiers and to DACs and to speakers, where the differences are usually huge, and I mean like humongous. between a cheap DAC and an expensive DAC. The differences can be night and day. The same for a speaker amplifier. Between a cheap class D amplifier and an expensive class D amplifier, the same class, the differences can be quite huge. Between two headphones, the differences are insanely high. Between two DAPs, between two everything, the differences can be insanely high. So that is true for cables too. But the differences between a pricey and a more affordable cable are slightly smaller than you get with DACs and amps and such. When it comes to the Invictus reference speaker cable, well, this one makes a huge difference between itself and what I was using. So I decided to purchase some high quality copper cables. Before it, I was using pure copper cables for my speakers for the KLH Model 5, and nowadays I'm using this as the amplifier. This is the KHS S300 Plus power amplifier. I don't even want to hold it while doing the video review. It is way too heavy. That one is way heavy. Also, it has very sharp corners. But that one is a very powerful speaker amplifier. Very good speakers in the back, so I need a very good cable because I don't want the weakest link to be the cable. The copper cables I got were from Amazon.Deutsch because I am using Amazon myself. I don't just recommend you to purchase from Amazon. I have to use it myself to confirm that it is a great shop to order from. And the copper cables I was using were good, were incredibly good, were much better than the older cables that had the thin material and such. So yeah, they were great. Now, the Invictus reference cable, that is on a whole new level. The level of clarity, detail, and resolution is insane. The sound is much more open, the micro details are much better, the bass seems more controlled, and there is less distortion in the sound. Of course, no A-B comparison can be done because I don't have two of the same speakers, two of the same amplifiers, and replacing a cable takes a lot of time. So there can be some bias, there can be some your mind playing tricks on you, but at the end of the day, what is important is that the cable does make a difference for my ears. And for my ears, I would say that the Invictus speaker reference cable is much cleaner, much more dynamic. So the sense of dynamics it has is insane. It's so much better than the copper cable I was using and than most entry-level cables, because I'm comparing a $1,500 cable to most entry-level options that I have heard. And with most entry-level options, you get a very good representation, you get a very smooth and fluid sound, but it is not surprising in any way. Well, when I put in the Invictus reference cable, the quality improved dramatically, instantly, and everything just got better. It was like, wow. It's like taking that first cup of coffee in the morning. You get a much more vivid sound, much more detail, the sound gets much more colorful, the soundstage expands in both width and depth, everything just gets more clear and better represented. I do think that the 3 meters cable should be enough for most people. Usually if you have more than 3 meters between your amplifier and your speakers, you are doing something odd, because most rooms aren't that large. Even in my room, 3 meters is a bit much to use my speakers. But the point is, I am a big believer in cables now that I've tested this one. And I was in cables for headphones and for EMs. For headphones and for EMs, the signal is very weak, so any single imperfection in the cable and every single interference will be heard a lot. With speaker cables, the signal is a bit stronger, so in theory the signal shouldn't be as affected by changes as it is with headphones and with EMs. But it is. The quality of the cable seems to matter a lot. The material of the cable is different, the number of wires inside of the cable is different, and this is one thick and fairly heavy cable, but it looks pretty good. I think that it gives a nice accent to my room. I like the blue color. I think it is pretty cool. And I do think that the whole concept is great. I like having a cable that is made for a high-end system. Also, you can see that this was made by hand. Everything is replaceable. Everything is disconnectable. You can see every single part that went into creating it. And let's be honest, it is a great cable. Now, whether or not the price is worth for you, I think should start at the very beginning. Do you have a pair of speakers that you are happy with already? And do you have a power amplifier that you are happy with already? If you do have a pair of speakers and an amplifier that make you happy, then getting a cable is a nice upgrade. Also, you should already have a DAC and you should already have interconnects and everything else set up. The speaker cable is actually a bit more important than the interconnect between the DAC and the amplifier. At least in my experiments, this one seems to make a larger difference. Interconnect cables seem to make a smaller difference, and USB and data cables generally really seem to make the least of a difference. And there, even I am doubting that they make a difference, and I think it's just confirmation bias. While with speaker cables, I can say that I heard some pretty big changes, and I can say that I noticed them. The sound is very referenced, so there is no signature or coloring that I can talk about. It doesn't seem to add bass or to affect the bass representation. It just makes everything more vivid, more detailed. The clarity is improved a lot, and the sound is generally more open, more holographic, and it has a much better resolution. So the Invictus reference cable from Ricables is an excellent upgrade for your current stereo system. I don't often get this much of a change with replacing just one element in an audio chain, but including this cable in my setup, well, that has proven to improve my system a lot. And I'm really thankful for Ricables for creating this beauty and for making it actually beautiful. And the company is from Italy, so you could have been expecting it to look beautiful, but just look at this. The blue color is really, really nice, and the cover is really nice. It is made of plastic, but it has this really nice pattern and model, and I think that it is an excellent option for anyone looking to upgrade their speaker cables. On the other hand, as I always tend to say, if you are not looking to upgrade your speaker cables, you shouldn't waste your time watching YouTube videos about it, because I think that a lot of people who, especially those who don't believe in the power of a cable and in how much it can change the sound, take their time and comment on videos about how it doesn't make a difference. And I think that if you haven't heard the difference, and if you don't believe that it makes a difference, you can get yourself a cheaper cable and be happy with it. I don't think you have to bring down anyone else who is having fun with their little upgrades and stuff. This is a hobby. This is not a precision domain where you have to make precise calculations. There is no difference for anyone else what you are using inside of your home. So if you want to make an upgrade on your cable, do it. If you want to purchase something that will improve your system and your experience, do it. I don't think that it really matters, because it is your own experience, it is a hobby, and you are basically just listening to music. You could listen to music in any way you want, and I think it is important to listen in the way you want to feel the best. And for that, you have to also use the music that you enjoy best. Please don't alter your music tastes to match with the expectations and with the critique of some musical critics. Just enjoy what you enjoy best, do what you know best, and have fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video has been enjoyable to watch. I hope you'll consider subscribing to Audiophile Heaven. Please like the video, comment if you have comments to make on the cable or on other products you want me to review. I thank you so much for being here with me, for taking your time to watch my videos. And if you have a dime to spare, I have a PayPal link in the video description. I also have links for this. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see each other really soon. Bye bye!